Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to our I Randomly Lost My Voice Special Edition Hardstyle Kettlebell tutorial. I'm hoping it's not too bad, but forgive me if my voice is a little off today. We're going to be covering a whole lot on the kettlebell clean, and hopefully, God willing, if I do a half decent job, you should be able to figure out and be comfortable with how to grip the bell, how to get in a rack position, how to clean one bell or two, and how to do multiple sets of cleans. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Okay, now for my strength focused people, or even those just hoping to get stronger using a kettlebell, I can't stress this enough. You want a great clean. That said, everyone should aspire to have great cleans, but the strength people need to have it, as it serves as a setup for the next thing you do. If you have a great clean, you will have great squats and great presses. And the same is true for crummy cleans. On a personal note, I've hit and missed overhead pressing PRs based on how good or not good my clean was just prior to the attempt. So it's worth the time it takes to learn this technique thoroughly and tighten it up as much as possible. Nothing is ever truly perfect, but we can get close enough to it with practice. Before we dive in, if you're enjoying this content, give us a quick subscribe and a smash on the like button, as we want to get you guys more instructional videos and workouts you'll enjoy. Okay, and now that I've told you just how important the clean is, let's tackle the first thing we need to get a handle on, pun intended, which is your grip and wrist position. So there are three types of grips you can use to clean: a barbell grip, a pistol grip commonly used in kettlebell sport, and an inverted V grip. We could spend time on each of these, but your time is valuable, and the inverted V has been argued to be the most effective for the hardstyle kettlebell clean. So we're gonna roll with that. Maybe down the road we can look at the other ones, but I'm gonna keep things as simple as possible for you today, as there is a lot to unpack. So here's how we set up for our grip. We're gonna set up exactly as we would for our single arm kettlebell swing, with one small distinction. We're going to tilt the handle downwards towards us with a thumbs down position. As I mentioned before, this is arguably the strongest setup for hardstyle kettlebell cleans, as it helps to pack the shoulders and maintain a big chest at the bottom. Don't do anything else just yet. This is just how you set up for your grip and the bell at the bottom before you hike it. Now, let's take a look at what happens at the top. So now, as you can see, I'm holding the bell in what's commonly called a racked position. As you can see, my wrist is neutral, my knuckles are pointed straight up, and my forearm is straight. If you look at the inside of my hand, the handle of the bell is sitting parallel to my calluses. This is your strongest position to hold your kettlebell clean. Anything else, wrist bent backwards, elbows flaring out to the side, or wrist and elbow not lined up, are cracks in the foundation. You might get away with it for a while, but this will eventually compromise your hard work down the road. With that in mind, here are three cues you can work on to optimize the rack position. First, drop your shoulders. Imagine anti-shrugging or shrugging downward, or packing your shoulder blades down, whichever works for you. Second, press arms against the ribs, making and maintaining contact if you can. Third, try to touch your collarbone with your thumb. This is the right height and distance for your rack position. If you're able to do all three of these things, then you're most likely holding the kettlebell in a tight rack and on your way. But some people might not be able to do some or all three of these based on their individual body and mass. So just bear in mind their general guidelines and cues to help optimize and understand the rack position. You're certainly not on your way to failing if you can't do them. Okay, so we know how to set up at the bottom and we know what's happening at the top. So how do we get there? Here we go. Setting up at the bottom of your hike position with an inverted V grip, you're going to hike the bell back. As you hike the bell back, the top of your arm will make contact with the side of your body. At this point, you want it to stay glued there, and then, same as with your swing, thrust your hips, squeeze your glutes, and now bend your arm to finish at the top of your clean. A small note here, you want to spear the handle as the bell is traveling up, not at the end, as this will bring the kettlebell crashing down on your forearm. The kettlebell should smoothly roll onto the forearm on the way up, not come down crashing at the very end. Everything else here should be just like the top of your swing. Knees locked, glutes tight, core engaged, and standing tall. For the ollie lifting crowd out there, be careful not to rebend your knees at the top just out of habit. Now, how do we get back down? You're going to start by performing a loose drop of the kettlebell into the bottom of your swing position without removing your elbow or upper arm from your ribs. Once you're there, you're ready to land the bell. So same as with your swing landing, bend the knees to lower yourself to the ground while now disconnecting your arm from your side to allow the momentum of the bell to swing forward and meet the ground. If you're trying to do multiple reps of cleans in a set, instead of bending the knees and disconnecting the arm at the bottom of the swing position, you're simply going to snap the hips while keeping your arm connected at the side to make your way back up and land it in the rack position. Okay, and now, because two bells are better than one, we're going to take a look at the double kettlebell clean, which is almost identical to the single clean with a few small differences. First, you're going to need a wider stance to accommodate for more bells. Second, the power output is also much more demanding. So practice this with weight you absolutely know you can manage and after you have a very good understanding of single arm clean form. Third, repeated reps of these, especially heavy, will throw your heart rate way up there. Fourth, if you can't finish the top of your double kettlebell clean with a hard lock at the knees and or are leaning back, confidence or power or both are missing, and it would be wise to scale back until you're truly ready for that weight, either mentally or physically. And look, that's really all there is to it. You'll see down the road just how much stuff you'll do with the kettlebell depends on a good understanding of the clean. And spoiler alert, it's a lot. From my personal experience, I struggled with the clean the most out of all the techniques when I was training for my kettlebell certification. There's a very small window for error here, and it's a much tighter and short movement. So timing and form mistakes will affect this more heavily. I used to bounce the kettlebell off my shoulder, right? I would launch it out to create more of an arc and room to work. And what this wound up doing is creating more strain on my shoulder and on my hand. It would yank on the shoulder and I would grip it more tightly on the way down. So it tore, I can't tell you how many calluses when I was training. So the moral of the story is the tighter of a movement, the closer you can keep it to your body, the more concise and correct this movement is. And a final cue for you to think about the distance between the bell and your body as it's traveling on the way up is think about zipping up your jacket. It should be this close and land in your rack position. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I sincerely hope it helps all of you working on your cleans, as I remember the ultimate frustration working on these. Drop us a comment and let us know how your cleans are going, since I take kettlebell clean frustration personally and would love to offer you whatever help I can. Otherwise, this and every other hardstyle kettlebell tutorial can be found in the Hardstyle Made Easier playlist on this channel. As always, be safe, be responsible, and use weight you know you're ready for. Don't test anything out you don't feel or know you're ready for. That leads to time on the bench, which no one is ever happy about. Can't tell you how many injuries come right back down to ego. But that said, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.